This is the best country in the world, so why would I want to live? As an African immigrant to the United States, this is a question that many of my family members or my friends would ask. A little bit of a background, I came to the US about 20 years ago for school. So I came here for my master's degree, my PhD, I met my husband here, had my kids here, worked here, and all of that stuff. And even though today I'm a US citizen, just like many immigrants around the world, you still feel an attachment to your home, to where you come from. I spent some time watching some other YouTubers, specifically Africans, who have immigrated to the United States, maybe for school, maybe because they had a green card, talking about their experience living in the United States. There's a lot of videos talking about the challenging parts of being an immigrant in the United States, and other videos will talk about the good side, the opportunities that you can find here in the United States of America. The purpose of today's video is not so much to talk about the bad side or the good side of America, or although I'm going to touch on that, of course, but it's really about the 5 things that shocked me here, and some of them still shock me today. One of my first videos on this channel was on the 10 reasons why my family is planning to move outside of the United States, specifically going back to Africa. If you want to watch that video, you can watch it right here. So here are the 5 cultural shocks that still shock me a little bit here in the United States. And these are in no particular order, okay? So let's go with number 1. Number 1, the first cultural shock is the culture of work. Obviously, the United States, the birth of capitalism, where work is basically a religion, okay? If you look back at your history books and you read about the WASPs and how they brought the culture of work here, and how basically work and religion is basically tied in a way, right? So you are supposed to work. Like, work is like your religion. Work is your essence. Like, you are tied to your work. When you introduce yourself, you say, what do you do? You ask people what they do. And most of the conversations that you have with strangers or even with people that you know will revolve around work, because work is such a deep part of your identity. You become what you do. And if you don't work, it seems like you kind of have a less of a value in society because you don't seem to bring value to society, okay? So it's like work gives you value. You're supposed to work, but not just work just like in any other country. Work is obviously important, but it's the fact that work can become more important than rest. And this is where things get a little interesting, because when you look at statistics, you will see that most countries will prioritize rest over work. But here in the United States, you will prioritize work over rest. Most people will not take their full PTO, like their vacation, their sick days and all that, because there's that internal fear that if they don't do the work that they have to do, then they can be replaced at work, right? So work, showing that you are working and maintaining that work, can be more important than actually resting and spending time enjoying the things that you bought with the money that you made because you worked long hours, okay? So it's kind of like you work a lot so that you can make money, but then you don't have free time to enjoy the things that that money can buy, right? So it's like you're in that constant wheel of work, and it just never stops. The second cultural shock is the culture of consumption. And this one is still a little complicated for me because it's about the culture of more, and more. And now with online shopping and websites like Temu or Shein, and buy a lot and get it like in 2 days with Amazon and get a lot of things with just a little bit of money. It's just that culture of more. I want to buy more. I want to buy more. Oh, and I need this and I need this. You don't really need it, okay? Let's be honest. You don't need it. You just want it, okay? And there's this blurry line between what you need and what you want. And at the end of the day, there's just this sense of overconsumption in everything. The food portions are ridiculously big. The sizes of jars of mayonnaise at Costco, for example, or the sizes of the cars, and everything is just big. I mean, I'm in Texas too, so everything is bigger in Texas. That's one of the things that shocked me on day one. When I landed in Houston, Texas, and I saw at the airport, I wasn't even outside. I was at the airport and I could see through the parking lot, and most cars were pickup trucks, like the big Chevy, Ram kind of trucks, right? And I was like, whoa, what is this place, right? And that's something that still shocked me a little bit. Not so much the sizes of the cars and all of that, but more like the food portions and the sizes of things that you find at the store and how easy it is to find things and to buy them because you want them, okay? It's just so much available, and people are just pushed to buy, and buy some more. The third thing that shocked me, and I have to say that I have been fully immersed in that one, is the culture of individuality. There's this sense of you need to be able to help yourself and do things on your own. It's like the solo cowboy hero who can conquer it all because he has grit, because he can do it. And yes, you can conquer everything by yourself. And I remember when I was preparing for my wedding, my maid of honor who came in from Côte d'Ivoire, and she came in to help me with everything. And we fought for the first time in our lives. Like, we had a big fight because she felt like I was not giving her any instructions and I wasn't sharing the task. I was trying to do everything on my own. And we had a big fight about it because I couldn't understand what she meant. And she couldn't understand that I was taking on everything in all the preparation. I mean, obviously you have the wedding planner and things like that, but we were running around town doing things, and the dress this and the this here and the caterer here. And I was juggling everything basically, just like is usually the norm, right? Unless you have a wedding planner who takes care of 100% of everything. But usually a regular wedding, you, the bride, will juggle most of the things, right? And so we had a huge fight because she was like, then why did I come here to do? And I couldn't understand that until I went to her wedding a year later, and I was like, okay, that makes sense, right? You're supposed to have this whole communal thing. Like, everybody's supposed to do their own part. It's not like, oh, I'm in charge, I'm doing everything because I can, right? Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And this applies to other areas in your life as well. And where, when you go back to Africa and other cultures as well outside of the United States, very Western cultures, you have that support system. It is very common to have somebody who cooks for you at home, somebody who does the cleaning at home, who will fold the clothes, who will help you with the kids, right? It's just common to have somebody or more than one person at home to help you do these things, which is very uncommon here. I mean, you could, but you will need to be like a billionaire to have more than one person who will be in your house like 24/7 to be there to help you with the kids, with the meals and all of that. Okay, so the average American does not have that kind of help. And so we are living in a very individualistic society where you have to do it all on your own. You can't complain because this is the norm. Okay, this is the culture of I'm the individual, I can, so I'm gonna do it. The fourth culture shock that I have experienced here in the United States, very related to the one about work, is the culture of productivity. Okay, same thing. It's about work, and you feel a sense of guilt when you are resting. That's why you will bring work with you when you go on vacation. That's why you will answer your phone calls from your boss or from your coworkers when you're on vacation or on your day off. That's why you will answer emails on the weekend. And that's something that is not done in a lot of cultures around the world. It is very specific to Western/American culture, where you want to be available and you want to be able to do as much as you can in a short amount of time. And I have to say that I'm a little guilty with this one because I'm very planning type A personality, right? So I like to be efficient with my time. And so I'm trying to do as much as possible in a short amount of time. Okay, so I like productivity. Okay, let me just say it. I like to be productive. But at the same time, I do like to enjoy my free time. Okay, so when it's free time, it's free time. I like to do that. It's not easy. It's not easy to have that boundary between free time and work time. But at the same time, I like to be rewarded with the productivity. I like to check off things off my list, right? And you are very much rewarded with all the work that you do and all you can do in a small amount of time. Like if you're able to batch 4 videos in 1 hour, oh, you're gonna get a lot of likes and a lot of, hey, how do you do that? This is amazing, right? But if I were to create content and say, hey, I filmed my 1 video today for the week, and people are like, okay, whatever. Which, I mean, it's good. It's still good, right? But it's not like, oh my gosh, she was super productive. 1 hour, she did 4 videos, right? All of that. So yeah, I'm guilty of that. I don't take it to the extreme, but a little bit of that. Number 5, lastly, this is purely American, purely United States of America. And anybody who is not American knows that because of Hollywood, we've all been exposed to this. And this is the culture of freedom. This is the culture of patriotism. This is the culture of I'm American, I know my rights, I'm the best, this is the best country in the world. I'm very unapologetic about it. And this is purely American, right? It's Hollywood, it's music, it's everywhere, right? And that's something that really shocked me. I mean, I knew about it from the outside, right? Everybody knows about it. But now that I'm on the inside, and I've been on the inside for years, the First and the Second Amendments, oh my goodness, they are more important than the Bible. It's like basically free speech and the right to bear arms. These two will summarize in a way what it means to be American. And to me, it's very hard still to comprehend it because I wasn't raised in that culture, okay? But it's so ingrained in what it means to be American. I mean, historically, of course. And it still shocks me. It still shocks me. And to me, it can be very uncomfortable, okay? Very, very uncomfortable, mostly the second one. And that's something that you can admire, mostly the right to free speech. It's like Americans know their rights. They know, right? And in a lot of countries, even if you know your rights, they can easily be taken like this. And so your right I can walk down the street and say whatever I want to say about politics, about religion, about anything I want, and that will not make me, and nobody's going to take me to jail for that because of my First Amendment. I can walk outside the doors carrying 3 guns on myself. I mean, I'm in Texas, so obviously that works here. And I'm still in my right to do so because that's my right. And so I embrace it. I love it. It's weird at the same time because it's very much, and again, very individualistic. Like, it's my right. And as long as I can exercise my rights, I have the freedom to do that, it's less about what I can do for the good of society. It's more about my rights. Okay, so it's a very interesting concept for immigrants coming into the United States to understand, because most immigrants will come from very societal cultures where there's a lot of group thinking, like what you do is for the good of your community, your family, your community, your city, your country. But here it's more like, okay, what makes me happy? What makes me happy, even if it doesn't make my parents happy, right? In a way, it's good and it's bad, okay? Who am I to judge? But that's definitely something that has shocked me and still does shock me on some days, okay? If you're an African immigrant here, let me know what has shocked you the most. And even if you're not an immigrant, maybe you have certain things that you're like, I didn't think of that because I grew up in this culture, and I didn't know that some people will be shocked about it. Let me know as well so we can have a discussion about it, okay? So if you've enjoyed this video, as always, give it a like, share it with a friend, and subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss any of my other videos just like this one. In the meantime, you can watch this next video right here where I'll tell you more about the reasons why we are planning to move back home to Africa. Until next time, bye.